This episode brought to you by TAUMMHOMS, which is a natural sleep and sound healing portal helping people globally to get to sleep faster and stay asleep longer through TAUMMHOMS.com. That's www.TAUMMHOMS.com.
Welcome to My Right Stuff with your host, Grammy Award-winning record producer and inventor, Lord Toby Wright. With your co-host, Gareth Dyton, aka DJ Chunky. Here's Toby.
Hey, I'm Lord Toby Wright, and this is My Right Stuff News. Well, in music news, Jerry Cantrell from Alice in Chains releases Brighton today, his first solo record in 18 years. The album will feature 8 original songs and a cover of Elton John's Goodbye, which is the closing track off of Elton's 1971 album Madman Across the Water. Cantrell co-produced the album with engineer Paul Feig and film composer Tyler Bates. The project will feature prominent rock musicians like Guns N' Roses bassist Duff McKagan and Abe Laboriel Jr. on drums. Mastodon are back and have a new record titled Hushed and Grim coming out today as well. The release will be a follow-up to 2017's Emperor of Sand and their Cold Dark Place EP. Tori Amos releases Ocean to Ocean today, and this is a record about your losses and how you cope with them, Amos says as a follow-up to 2017's Native Invader. And They Might Be Giants' new album, Book. It's the band's newest record, and it's lively, eccentric, and lovely. Book is the 23rd studio album by They Might Be Giants. And Adele's Easy on Me skyrocketed to number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100 Songs chart following its first full week of tracking. A week earlier, it debuted at number 68 from its first 5 hours of availability. Wow. Easy on Me is the most added song in U.S. radio history. That's quite a feat. Well, finally, Frame 42, who were My Right Stuff Episode 4, they're out on tour, and it's their first. They're out in support of Joyous Wolf, a new signing as of March 2021 to Roadrunner Records. They've been on tour for the past month, and a big fan, Sarah Palin, stopped by to see the show at the Warehouse in Clarksville, Tennessee this past week. Palin, who has been listening to and loving the new EP, took pictures with them after the show. Their new EP, Undercroft, was produced, recorded, and mixed by Toby Wright, and it's available on all major digital musical outlets. In film and TV, Antlers opens today. A young teacher discovers that her troubled student's father and younger brother harbor a deadly supernatural secret. Taking the boy into her care, the teacher must fight for their survival against horrors beyond the imagination. Sounds pretty scary. Army of Thieves is out. A mysterious woman recruits bank teller Ludwig Dieter to lead a group of aspiring thieves on a top-secret heist during the early stages of the zombie apocalypse. And Dune has topped Zack Snyder's Justice League with its viewership on HBO Max during its opening weekend. Dune has also resulted in a $40 million opening weekend for Warner Brothers, and it's their biggest since 2019's The Joker. Well, in sporting news, this past weekend was the United States Grand Prix in F1. In one of the best races of the season, Max Verstappen pulled out the victory over Lewis Hamilton. With Red Bull teammates Sergio Perez, he was third and very thirsty on the podium. Verstappen extends his championship lead over Hamilton to 12 points with 5 races to go, and this is one of the most exciting championships in recent memory, that's for sure. Well, in the Premier League, Chelsea sits atop the table and faces Newcastle, while Liverpool are only 1 point behind and play Brighton. Only 2 points out of first is Manchester City, and they're playing Tottenham this weekend. Well, in the world of audio gear, Frank Stallone's guitar company, Frank Stallone Guitars, launched an all-made-in-the-USA electric guitar line. It's featuring 2 Seymour Duncan humbuckers with coil-splitting capabilities, and it comes in a variety of satin or gloss colors. Of the new offerings, Stallone said, "We want to be the catalyst that helps people enjoy their passion for playing guitars. The brand's head luthier, Richard Diaz, who said he wanted to create an all-round workhorse six-string, added, "These guitars offer the best of all worlds to any axe slinger at any level, beginner to pro, and their line is a well-muscled beast. You can find Frank Stallone guitars here." Well, that's all the news that's making the news today, October 29th. Now over to you, my lord. Oh, well, hey, Toby, thank you very much. And welcome back to My Right Stuff, which is a film, TV, sports, music, adventure, and inspirational lifestyle podcast. I'm your host, Lord Toby Wright. And for this whole month of November here at My Right Stuff, we're focusing on health. And today's guest is our first in the series. Her name is Kimberly Cabot, and she is a life coach. We'll also have a cardiologist, a nutritionist, organic restaurant owner, and spiritual guidance guru, along with the natural sleep sounds company, my sponsor, TAUMMHOMS. Well, my co-host today is Mr. Gareth Dyton, a.k.a. DJ Chunky from Chunky's Choice, all the way from Wales. Hey there, Gareth. What's happening today?
Hey, Toby, my friend. Life is good. Things are going really well, and I'm looking forward to finding out how I can make them even better.
Ah, yes. Well, you'll have that very, very special, inspirational guest, Kimberly Cabot, coming at you, and she's a life coach.
Wow. Wait a minute though, Toby. Before we meet her, I would like to thank all of our supporters who regularly stream, download, watch and support My Right Stuff. Please keep spreading the word, my friends. We really appreciate it. Please be sure to click on the show notes below to follow the link tree for a full list of all the channels we're streaming on, as well as all our sites and social media platforms. And if you would like to donate to My Right Stuff, please follow the support link. Every single dollar helps us to support the crew who make all of this wonderful dream possible. And of course, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, as well as the podcast channel of your choice, so you never miss a single episode. And after this episode, please head over to myrightstuff.com and go to the store to pick up some snazzy merch for those bodies.
Well, thank you very much for that, Gareth. And as I said, today's guest is life coach Kimberly Cabot. Kimberly has been part of the Handel Group family for almost a decade. The Handel Group is a renowned corporate consulting and life coaching company dedicated to teaching people how to realize their personal and professional visions. Their straightforward and innovative method has changed the lives of thousands of private and corporate clients and has been taught in over 50 educational programs and institutes of learning, including MIT and the Stanford Graduate School of Business. Kimberly was a director of operations for 5 years before becoming a full-time executive and life coach. Since 2012, she has used the Handel Method to transform her life and the life of her clients around the world. She's a lover of life and people. She knows and can teach you how to follow through on action to make your life come true. Well, ladies and gentlemen, please give a very warm My Right Stuff welcome to my distinguished guest, Miss Kimberly Cabot. Hi, Kimberly. How are you today?
I'm doing great. I got up early and went to the gym with my sister. So it's like always a good day if I've accomplished that. It's like, boom, check done. Anything happens now, the rest of the day, it's still a good day.
Exactly. Well, I gotta learn to, like navigate my mornings to do that kind of thing too, because just doing it in the afternoon doesn't really satisfy me. Anyway,
yeah,
we'll talk about that later. But,
okay, good.
Well, here on My Right Stuff, I like to give my audience a little history of my guest. And it's my understanding that you became a life coach later in life. And what were your career aspirations when you were a child? And what do you believe led to your current position?
I was in 5th grade and I decided I wanted to save the earth. So that was my career aspiration. I won the t-shirt contest for Save the Earth Day. And like back in like 1977 or something. So it was at the very beginning of Earth Day, probably. And I got like such positive feedback from winning that contest that I was like, that's my mission. That's what I'm doing. And I moved up to Northern California to go to school to learn how to do that, and then became an organic farmer, and then planted vineyards and became a winemaker and a winery owner, and just kept going down that track. And got to the point where I realized it really wasn't the earth that needed to be saved, but the people.
Yes.
Like, the earth's gonna be fine.
Right.
We're the ones that could use the help. So I turned my attention more toward the humans, and like it's still my mission. Like the more I can connect to my heart and help others connect to their heart, I feel like we'll take better care of the earth, care more about our legacy and what we're leaving behind.
Absolutely.
Totally. That makes total sense, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, hello. Why did you choose the Handel Group over like sort of other life coaching companies and or methods?
Yeah, it's a good question. So I had become a yoga teacher, and my yoga teacher was getting coached by the Handel Group. So I looked them up online just to see what she was doing and didn't do anything about it. And then one of the other, the guy that I was following in yoga, he had like a fall from grace. And this woman wrote an open letter online that I read. Her name is Elena Brower. And the way that she spoke, like so honestly, vulnerably, and really holding him to account, like you're not off the hook, and we all had our part in it too. I just really loved her accountability and integrity. And then I realized she was also trained to be a Handel Group coach. So it was like a second notice in the world that somebody I knew and followed was associated with the Handel Group. So I looked at them again. I thought, okay, this company really does walk their talk and practice what they preach. That, and the other thing that really drew me to it is that I could do the training with them, and then I would get clients through them. So I wouldn't have to spend my time marketing myself.
Right.
They do the marketing and then give me the clients was like also a huge bonus, because I know a lot of coaches that spend like at least half of their time marketing and self-promoting.
Yep.
Yeah,
certainly
totally. Yeah, totally.
So what specific training have you done to be able to assist and reach so many people? And is your training ongoing?
My training is totally ongoing.
Oh, good. Okay.
It's a lifelong training. And for me, it was really intense. When I joined, I came my life was pretty messy. I had just come out of a divorce and I had a lot of cleanup to do. Okay. So my training ended up taking 5 years. Some people can take 2 years, but I had a lot of work to do. So I got to use every last bit of the method on myself to transform my own life. So it was great because every single one of the assignments I have road tested and the results. Like I started here, I did the work, I ended up here. So then when I have clients, I can relate to all the different messes and all the different ways to clean it up and use my own examples. And so then new assignments and new principles get created all the time in the Handel Group as we go, and as we transform, we just keep deepening the method. So then we all have to then use that in our life and come through with a result before we could ever teach it to a client. We've got to road test ourselves.
Gotcha. Perfect.
So how would you explain the Handel method, and how would you tailor it to fit each kind of individual as well as each specified area of sort of difficulty?
Yeah. So the Handel method really starts by waking people up to their truth, their dream. Like, what do you really want? A lot of us, like, we know what we want, but we're afraid to say it because then we have to do it. Or what if I fail and look bad? So really empowering people to get clear on what they want. We start with the dream and then come up with a plan together toward it. But what happens is, like, I know my body dream. I know what I need to do to get there, but I'm not doing it. So what we find is what's in the way. What's between us and having what we really want in life is usually in our head. It's like our excuses, our beliefs, our, traits, things that have happened to us in our life and our past, which we call our hauntings. So we help people identify those and remove those roadblocks. So then it's really individual, because everybody's got a different history. Everybody comes with a different a pattern that's come through their family, their lineage.
Totally.
Then underneath it all, there's very familiar and similar excuses. Like they all fall into 3 categories, which we call the chicken, the brat, and the weather reporter. So it's like the voice of the chicken is fear. Like we all have excuses that are the voice of fear. Like, no, I'm not going to have that conversation today. They're not in a good mood. But it's like, really, I'm afraid to have it, but I'm going to make you the reason. Then there's the brat who's like, yeah, I know I said I wanted to lose weight, but I don't really want to get up at 6 a.m. and go for that run. Not today. Like the brat is I just don't want to. I don't want to do the hard work. I worked hard today. I deserve this cookie. All about that one, and we all have it. And I love that you're laughing, because that's what we try to do, is like lighten up about our dark and not beat ourselves for it, not get so heavy in it that like there's something wrong with me because I have a dark. It's cool. You have the dark. We all do. But can you get to know it and not believe it as the truth?
Right.
Like that voice is real, but not true. And then the third one was the weather reporter. So the weather reporter just reports on your life like you would the weather. It's raining. Nothing I could do about it. I'm just not a morning person. Nothing I can do about it. Like we all have our weather reports. And if you can catch yours, you don't have to believe it and let it rule your life. Let it be your operating system that gets in the way.
Right.
So we try to help people identify what theirs is. So it's individualized that way. But then, then we hold you to account to doing something different. So I hold people accountable, which is, I'm fighting for your dreams.
Right.
And ultimately, the goal of the Handel Method is to feel more joy.
Excellent. Well, do you find coaching personally rewarding, and why?
Oh my God, it's such a gift that I get to do this. I really found, when I was a yoga teacher, I found what I loved about it was talking to the students before class, creating a theme, carrying it through, and then having them reflect back where it landed in their life and what was going on. I just wanted to know more about my life. I wanted to ask more questions. And so now I get to do that all day, and I get to even help them come up with answers and then have them come back and see how it worked, see what's, like really follow it through, which just feels so meaningful for my life. I love my clients. I just fall in love and care so much that it means so much. Like I went on vacation this summer for 3 weeks and I was like, oh, back to reality. Then I looked at my calendar. I was like, I like these people. I want to talk to them. Like if this is reality, okay, it's a good design.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a good fit.
Yeah, exactly.
So how important do you actually think it is to share your experiences with actually your clients?
Yeah, it's what lands for people is like those real examples. So like we could talk high level, like here's the chicken and the brat, but if I can help it land for you by hearing an example from my own life and how I transformed it, then you can relate to it. It's just more relatable.
Totally.
I got you.
Yeah. And then one thing
totally
that they've proven in research is like, if you're not connected, the content doesn't matter. Like we could have all the best content, but if you're not connected to me, you're not going to hear it. It's not going to be meaningful. It's not going to make an impact.
Right.
So I also feel like those personal examples can connect us.
Absolutely.
So that anything that does come as advice or, is like more meaningful because there's a trust.
Right.
Do you actually find it difficult to actually kind of make those links?
No, usually, what's difficult is right now I'm working like half of my time in the life division and half of my time in the corporate division. So in the corporate division, I'm working with executives and their careers. And the only thing that ever gets difficult is my belief in myself as being like worthy enough of an executive. Like, who the hell am I to have anything to offer this successful human? He's making more money than me. How could I have anything helpful to offer? So that's the only thing that makes it difficult is me.
Is your
It's my
but
own
then
self-doubt.
but then I suppose also by actually using your kind of your own like sort of methodology, that person might be rich and kind of a very successful person, but they're still paying for help from you.
Yeah, exactly.
So
I have to remind myself. There's a
so
reason
so
why
so
they're
that's
here.
actually you a fix for that.
Yeah, exactly. So, my one of my lessons in this life is self-doubt, is like not believing in myself.
Right.
So the antidote for that is believing in my mission, like not even making it about me. It's not about me. I'm just a vessel here for the mission that's like connecting heart to heart with people, helping people connect to their hearts,
Right.
helping people connect to their truth and their joy.
Yeah.
Like if that's my mission, then even if I stumbled while I'm trying, I'm still getting closer to the mission, and it's not about me. If I failed, I would learn. If I don't do a great job with this person, I'm still going to learn how to do it better next time. So it's still a step toward the mission, and not to take myself down, make myself too important in that, not take it so personally.
Right.
Yeah.
So with that, what skills or attributes do you feel a life coach should possess?
Definitely the ability to listen.
Patience.
Yeah, exactly. And then good question asking. Like most of what I do is like stop someone when they're in the middle of a rant that they really believe is true, and question it. Like really question it, that gets them to do their own questioning, their own self-discovery. Because if I can get them to call it out first, they're way more likely to do something about it than if I call it out and tell them what to do.
Right.
Like we know the answer. Most of us know. So it's like helping just reflect that back, what you already know, your truth. So it's like that skill to be able to see like where's the right time to interrupt and ask a question so that they can stop themselves.
Okay.
And so that's a really good one. And then one of the things, and then just like bringing my heart. I think having a lot of heart in the game is part of the success as well, is that I really care about people. I really want them to have their dreams. I really am in their corner, even if I'm calling them out on something.
Right.
It's because I really care. And if I didn't care, I'd let them get away with their own bullshit.
Right.
Of course you would, yeah.
So I think that's an attribute that's a key to success for me.
I agree. Do you find it more difficult to coach people online rather than face-to-face?
No, not really. I started online, so it's totally feels normal. I do some face-to-face when I go to events. I'll do face-to-face coaching, and I love that too. But no, I don't feel like there's anything missing for me in the online coaching.
Gotcha.
Is it different? Is it different coaching a group rather than one person?
Oh yeah, totally. The group can be so powerful, because if you get one person in the group that shares something vulnerable, then they're impacting. You just can have a greater impact.
Right.
You have that one moment where you nail someone in the group, and everybody has an insight. So like, God, how powerful is that? And then they start to building trust in the group, because somebody's been vulnerable and let themselves be seen. You see people draw closer to that human,
right?
Which is just so beautiful. It's so powerful. And it's so great working in organizations where what we do, we call it building honest cultures. So we are like, start with the CEO admitting his dark, like calling out what sucks about him in the group, which then, okay, now we don't all have to manage like we're perfect, because we're not.
Right.
So if he's able to go like, look, I can be a total bulldozer and not even take into account what you're saying or how you're feeling. And I know this sucks about me. And I want you to call me out. I have a promise not to bulldoze anybody. If I do, I've got these $10 Starbucks gift cards as a consequence. I owe you one. You can call me out. So like empowering people on the team to call him out, then they feel safe. There's like a safety in that honesty that like, oh, he cares.
Right.
And I'm empowered to call him out because he cares. And then, okay, call me out when I'm doing this. And then I'm safe to call myself out instead of trying to manage that I'm perfect, which just disconnects us.
Right.
And can get in the way of the results, because how are we going to be connected as a team if we're all managing how we're seen?
Right. Exactly.
And not
Exactly. So what areas of coaching do you specialize in?
So that's the life coaching and the corporate coaching. I'm one of the only coaches at the Handel Group that does both. Most people choose a track that they're on. But during my long training, I was the director of operations in our corporate division to make money while I did the training to become a life coach. So I got so familiar with our corporate offerings.
Okay.
Because I worked there as the director of operations, so that I graduated, became a life coach, and then they needed more coaches in corporate. So they asked me to come over. So I'm doing both, where not many people are doing both. So it's a lot of the same coaching, but in corporate, you just focus on the skills that a leader needs there. Like a leader in a home needs similar skills of delegation, managing up and managing down and across. Like you need that in a home also.
Right.
But so it's really similar, because also with executives, I still want them to give me their whole life. Like,
Sure.
How is your marriage? Like who you are in your marriage impacts who you are at work. It'd be nice if we could just show up and leave all that behind,
Right.
but we don't.
Right.
We bring that with us, and it will impact our results at work also. Mm-hmm. So I really do ask for people's whole life. Like, let me in on your marriage, because if we can have that rocking, then you're going to bring that into the office and impact results there.
Excellent. Yeah, I agree.
Totally.
So
yeah, totally.
So can you tell us how you changed your relationship with money from abusive to abundance?
Yeah. When I came to the Handel Group, I was $30,000 in credit card debt. It was part of the mess I had to clean up. Okay. And my relationship with money was just like, don't look at it. Like, if I just work hard, it'll work itself out.
Okay.
So like, didn't give it the attention it needed, just used it and abused it, just expected it to be there for me when I wanted it, but didn't want to take care of it when it needed me.
Right.
It's
right.
like, I'll pay the late fee, oh God, like bouncing checks. Do you remember those days? I know that like doesn't even probably happen anymore because we don't even use checks, but like back in the old days, I was bouncing checks about the old days, like 10 years ago.
Okay.
So I don't have to, so I was just like not taking care of money, not paying attention to it, not looking at it and tending to it. So I had to make all these promises to like check my bank account daily.
Okay.
And my credit card statement as well, which was so amazing. I would catch like charges that shouldn't have been there, or in my bank account seeing like, oh, this charge is coming through, I should move some money over. Like taking care of it,
right,
by giving it attention, then helped it grow. It's like whatever you give your attention to will grow. So I then created a budget, which I had never had a budget because I just was in this belief that like it would take my fun away.
Right.
Like
okay.
It would like, there would be no fun, as if like I couldn't have a line item for fun money. and then like, and as if late fees and bounce checks was fun. Like I was like having fun. I thought, but I was just cleaning up messes all the time.
Right.
Like, what a waste of energy and time. So instead, I got a budget, and my coach every week, I would have to like walk her through my budget, and she was finding holes in it everywhere. Well, what about this? What about that? So that's one thing a coach does is like, you said, you can't just say, yeah, I got a budget, it's all good. It's like, okay, let me see it.
Right.
I just met with a client of mine, and her gym membership for the month was $479. I was like, what?
What?
And she was like, I have a personal trainer. I was like, and you have all this debt? Like, how is that a good idea? I'm like, why do you have 2 car payments? She's like, well, I have 2 cars. I'm like, you're a single woman with 2 cars. So she just like was not honest about her relationship with money either.
Right.
She was living out of integrity. And that impacts everything. Because then she can't have her home dream. Then she feels bad. She's single and doesn't want to go get in a relationship because she feels broke. But it's like, we can clean that up and help you feel proud and confident and self-loving. Yeah. And then that goal of like more joy, not more stuff, but more joy.
Right. Yeah.
So I ended up like getting that budget so that I paid off all my credit card debt and was able to start a Roth IRA and start adding to the 401k and building a belief in myself that I can take care of myself. I can take care of money. It can take care of me. And then it has impacted who I choose in relationship, as opposed to like looking for a man that's going to save me.
Right.
Which never works out. Never works out.
Never works out.
Nothing to save you.
No,
save yourself.
For anyone to save you. Yeah, exactly.
Don't look for anyone to save you. So it's amazing that like now I have a savings. I just bought a new car for the first time in my life, and I feel so well taken care of by my money because I take care of it.
Yeah.
And it's, I'm 49 years old, and at any point you can do this, because I also had the story. It was too late.
Right.
Like you can't start a Roth IRA at this point. Like you kind of missed the boat.
But you didn't.
But it's never too late.
No, that's right.
Never too late.
Excellent.
So, for all the busy people out there who know there is never enough time in a day, how can you help them master their time efficiently in order to be the most productive they can be?
Yeah. Well, I think there's some lies in what you said. Like the belief, it's a negative theory. Like how sad to live by that belief that there's never enough time in the day. So if that's what you believe, then that's what we prove. Because whatever you believe, you prove. So you'll go about collecting evidence that there's not enough time instead of looking at like, where are you wasting time? Like, or what are your priorities? Yeah. Like, oh my God, if I delete Instagram from my phone for the day, I magically create time.
Imagine that.
Who would have thunk it? Yeah.
Turn off the TV. Like, oh, there's some extra time too. Like, where are we leaking time and living out of integrity with like, so if I have my dreams all written in the beginning, which is the first assignment in the Handel Method, I have to look in my dreams. Anywhere in my dreams does it say spend 3 hours on Instagram per day? It's like, no. It has, I want to read books. I want to connect heart to heart with my daughter. I want to do more painting. So then I need to actually schedule that in because those are my priorities.
Right.
And not waste my time on the things. So it's about our relationship to time, just like it was my relationship to money.
Okay.
That taking care of it. You can take better care of time and have more time if you decide like these are my priorities. And it's in my calendar. So that's been a big part of changing my relationship to time. It was just like having a budget.
Right.
It was like having a calendar that had like, there's meditation. I put my exercise in there. And after I designed like a really good schedule, then I had to live in it and get honest about where I wasn't even accurate with time. Like, okay, I have 1 hour in my calendar for the gym. But by the time I change and I fill up my water bottle and drive there and drive back, It's 2 hours.
Right.
So I actually need 2 hours in the calendar. Like, let's get honest about time. And then, yeah, where am I wasting it?
Right.
That's another thing to get honest about. And what can I clean up to have more time? Because if we live in the lie that like there's never enough time, then like we're victims. It's a weather report.
Absolutely.
Yeah, totally.
Well, how do you help people? I mean, given what you just said, I kind of know the answer, but how do you help people realize that taking care of themselves is the most important task of the day?
Yeah, exactly. Well, if that's their dream, so they've already know it. If their dream says like in their body dream, I take such good care of my body. I eat a salad every day. I sleep 7 hours. I feel so rested, feel so energized. It's like, okay, well, if that's your dream, what do you want to do toward it? Okay, I want to go to bed at 10 p.m. lights out. Okay, so that means I got to like log out of my phone at 9. So that means, it's like, so let's get, how are we going to do it? So then that's in the calendar. At 9, a reminder pops up that says time for bed. And it's like, okay, I said I wanted to prioritize my health. So here's what I said I was going to do toward it. Let me go do it. And I feel so proud when I do things like that. Like I said I was going to go to bed at 10. I'm in bed at 10. It makes me so proud. The high from that integrity is like the best high of like doing what you say you're going to do.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like the key to self-love. So many people think like, and I thought self-love is something you had or you didn't. And I just wasn't born with it. Like I just wasn't one of those lucky people that walked around with the self-love and self-esteem.
Right.
Maybe it was my mom's fault. Nice weather report.
Yeah, nice weather report right there.
That's very nice weather report.
It's like really a moment by moment choice.
Right, exactly.
Like to decide integrity is moment by moment. You got it or you don't. So the cool thing is you can get it back. It's like, oh, I said I was going to go to bed at 10, but instead I went to bed at 11. Instead of beating myself up and feeling bad, I have a consequence. So my consequence is, okay, tomorrow morning, I have to delete Instagram from my phone for 24 hours. So then I do that the next day. It's kind of annoying. I don't love it, but it reminds me, oh yeah, tonight I'm going to bed at 10. So I don't have to do that again tomorrow.
Okay.
So that's the system that we've set up. It's like you make a promise and if you don't keep it, you pay a consequence, you're back in integrity.
Right.
Okay.
People do like, I'm not going to eat sugar. And then if they do, then they have to do like 50 sit-ups or something like that. You do the 50 sit-ups, you're back in integrity. You're back in living in your commitment to yourself and your dream and feeling proud. You don't have to be perfect to be in integrity.
Right.
No.
Right. That's beautiful.
Yeah. It's a nice system.
Yeah. Have you ever had a client who you felt that you just couldn't help?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, there's clients we have to break up with for sure. And it's really that they're just not willing to do the work.
Right.
Yeah.
They had all the best intentions, but it takes time. And it takes commitment. It really takes something. Like, I had one client who just said, I just don't believe in consequences. Or I don't believe in promises. I don't believe in integrity. And I was like, okay, so maybe this isn't a good fit.
Right.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be the right fit for everybody. It can't be, right? Like, or there's no one size fits all. If it doesn't fit, it doesn't fit. Let's tell the truth and love each other and release each other, just like any relationship.
Right.
Just,
Exactly.
Exactly. And kind of, I suppose, if you had someone who was that opposed to that method, then surely forcing them to go through it is just going to make them very, very resentful.
Exactly. It would make my job miserable. Really not. Yeah, it's like I'm here to fight for your dreams. If it's your dream, I'll totally be in your corner for it. But you got to
Yeah.
be in your corner for it too.
Right,
Oh,
right,
totally. Yeah,
Yeah,
totally.
I can't
Totally.
force you to fight for your own dreams. I
right.
can hold you to what you said you were going to do and help you see
Yeah.
why you're being a brat or what's getting in your way. But if
Yeah.
you're not willing to really do the work, then it's not that fun. It's
Right.
not that fun
No.
here for you,
No.
and forget
No, it
it.
isn't.
You know, life's hard enough.
On that same line of thinking, was there ever a client who helped you or your personal growth?
Oh my God, every single one of them.
Oh, beautiful.
Every single one. I know. I get so much. You know, right now I'm in the dating world, and
Oops.
so I'm out to prove that like dating is fun and a great opportunity to learn about myself.
Okay.
So I am out to prove like every interaction is a reflection of me.
Right.
Yeah.
So then it's same with my clients. Like I get a reflection of myself off them, good and bad, where I could be better and what I'm doing well is like in every interaction.
Right.
So I've been helped so much. Right now, I actually have a client today who's going in for brain surgery, and she wrote
Ooh.
me this morning about how great she's feeling and how thankful she is and the amount of support and love. And I'm so moved by her. And today, like, I was just like, wow, I'm so thankful I got to know her and spend days talking to her leading up to this.
Right. That's beautiful.
I know. It's just such a gift.
Mm-hmm.
How does a person create their own boundaries to stop saying yes to everyone and learn to
Yeah.
take care of themselves first?
People pleasers, a yes man.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I've got it is. So I start to, I have clients who have had to have promises to say no once a day.
Okay.
Oh, it's a practice. It's a hard one.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's a hard one. Yeah, it's a toughie.
So hard. And then getting them connected to the why, like why they're doing that and how it's actually saying yes when it's a lie is not really being nice. Like we think we're doing it. We've convinced ourselves that I'm being nice by saying yes to you, but we call it snice.
Yeah.
That it's nice with a snake tail.
Uh-huh.
And so it's like, yeah, sure. But my tail's like coming around to kill you off. Like inside, I'm killing you off. Like I'm like this guy, like taking my time. I'm so busy. Yeah, sure, I'll totally do that. But that it's like it's a lie and it's out of integrity and it's not nice.
Right.
That it is love to the other person. It's like we think it's a people pleaser, but who is it pleasing? It's not really pleasing the other person because you're lying to them and then resenting them inside. You're not pleased. They're not pleased. Like telling the truth, actually saying no is way nicer.
Right. Absolutely. And it's sometimes it's really difficult to do that, obviously, because then you're going to hurt the other person's feelings. Or if they're one of those sensitive people who don't have a thick skin, then they're going to be like, oh, you hurt my feelings by saying no. Ooh. So, that's why we lie. And we just
that's our story. So you hear his weather report. You totally heard his weather report. So that's how we convince ourselves.
Right.
But I think if we can do the conversation with grace, it doesn't even have to be that it hurts someone's feelings. That's our fear. The chicken's like so afraid to say no. I'm going to hurt their feelings. They're going to be so sensitive. They're not going to like me anymore. But the truth is, if I have the conversation gracefully with you, it's like, hey, I'm really practicing telling the truth and not just saying yes to people. I'm a recovering people pleaser, trying to be honest. And the truth is, I just don't have space to do this right now. Can we try again next week? I don't want to, like, I'm afraid to have this conversation because I don't want to hurt your feelings. This isn't about me not liking you. This is about me really liking you.
Right.
And liking you enough to tell you the truth.
Right. And
so however I set up the conversation, I can really create the outcome.
Gotcha.
Right. So we can have, so I teach people all the time how to have hard conversations.
And that's beautiful. That's what I need.
Yeah. It's the tool I've used the most.
Right.
It's like almost a daily task having hard conversations.
Absolutely.
and doing
Totally.
it. So our principle for communication is grace and wisdom. So your wisdom is your truth, and grace is how you wrap it so that someone can receive it without defense.
Right.
Yeah.
So
That's the difficult part.
that's the difficult
Yeah.
part. But some people err too far over in the grace.
Right.
And they'll be like,
Right.
so what I wanted to say is, well, it's not a big deal and it's totally okay. And well, I don't even know if it even really matters. It's like, just say it. It's like way too much grace. They never get their point across.
Right. Exactly.
And then
Right.
way too much
Yeah.
wisdom. You can tell if it's too much wisdom where you're like, dude, quit asking me what to do things for you. It's too much.
Right.
That too much wisdom. You can tell you're doing that when you're getting defensive responses all the time from people, or you're hurting people's feelings.
Right.
And you're considering it's because they're too sensitive.
Right.
Maybe it's that like too much wisdom on our part.
That's part of the equation as well, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
So
very much so.
that's
Very
one of
much.
the things with corporate clients is helping them figure out with each employee, with each direct report or with their boss, the style, the amount of grace and wisdom to use. We all require a different amount.
Right.
It's
Right.
learning how to manage up, managing down, and across. It's like, what's the style that really works for this human?
Right.
Some
Yeah.
people, they don't need a lot of grace. They're like, just get to the point with me.
Right. Of course. And then, but
Yeah,
you have both sides of the fence there, and you just have to
Very
know who your audience is when you're applying your grace, I guess. Right.
That's right.
So, all
That's
right,
right.
Kimberly,
And then,
let's get to the golden nugget. Like we've been covering this stuff, right? So how do you teach people to realize and attain their dreams?
Yeah. So you mean realize as in knowing their dream?
Knowing and realizing as in putting into reality.
Okay, that's what I was wondering. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. So getting really clear on what it is, having a plan to take action toward it, having the promises and consequences to actually hold you to do it. And then one of the biggest keys is like outing it.
Okay.
So I'm going to way more possible for me to have my dream if I'm talking about it with other people.
Right.
So if you're managing that dream all inside and nobody knows about it, you're a lot less likely to ever realize it.
Okay.
But if you're outing it, if you're telling 3 people, this is what I'm up to. Like if I told you by the end of this year, I'm going to lose 10 pounds, I'm way more likely to do that than if I'm just thinking it in my head.
Right. Okay.
I'll let myself off the hook, but I'm going to be more accountable to you. Just the fact that I've said it out loud makes me more accountable to it.
Excellent.
We're afraid to do that because if I out my dreams, then now I'm going to have to do something about it.
Right.
Kind of scary. So that's one of the things I have people do. As soon as they get their dreams to a point where they're proud of it, they're excited about it, I have them go tell 3 different people about their dream. Read your dream to the 3 closest people to you.
Okay.
That's one of the most important parts is having accountability buddies, having people that are going to hold you to your dream. So that's what coaches do, but not everyone can afford a coach. So it's like, tell your daughter, tell your husband, tell your best friend. And then the woman, Lauren Zander, who started the Handel Group, when she first had the idea and the dream to have a coaching company, she made a promise to tell 3 people a day.
Okay.
So she was telling 3 people a day, I want to start a coaching company. They'd be like, well, what's that? Or, oh, have you talked to this person? Or, oh, I need coaching. So she was doing it to practice talking about it, to like bring it into reality.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then also it connects you to all these possibilities you haven't even thought of. People in your network that can help you make it happen.
That's right.
Yeah.
So that's one of the big keys.
That's excellent.
Yeah.
So besides personal coaching, what other type of courses or events does the Handel Group offer to people?
Yeah. So besides the one-on-one coaching, we do a lot of events with like this morning, one of our coaches did this event in New York City called Daybreaker. And Daybreaker is like this, they start the day with dance. And so she went there and was one of the keynote speakers at the event. So we go to lots of events, and we also do lots of workshops in companies. So like I had mentioned, the Building Honest Culture workshop, and we do Enhancing Success workshops. So we do lots of like group coaching with companies, and then lots of live events, on lots of online live events, like
Right.
on Instagram and with different partners.
Okay.
So we just been partnering with lots of different people, and whatever topic they want to cover, we can cover it.
Sweet.
We, you know, it's like we have a full array
Right.
of principles and offerings, and so it's fun. It's like something for everyone. Like, do you want to, like, we have an education division that focuses on schools,
Okay.
and
Right.
we teach at colleges like at Stanford and MIT. We'll teach the Handel Method and a Design Your Life course for students. Like, how important is that? You're in college and you don't know what to do next.
Right.
Like, that's so true for so many students. So we help
No,
them
totally.
get clear on what they want to do, help them get in a plan and have conversations and address their fears and their doubts, and really help them have a good path forward out of college.
Yeah.
So we do it in college, and then even in elementary schools and high schools.
Excellent. Well,
Yeah, the sooner you can learn these skills, like the better. We should all have had.
Amen.
good-
I'll do a weather report on my parents next.
Right.
Anyway, but, what is? I was looking on the website, right, on the Handel website, and what's the 6-week inner you love boot camp? I mean, it sounds kind of funny, but how does it differ from your regular sessions?
Right. So it's great because it's a group, like we were talking about before.
Right.
So like Inner You is our online coaching program. So we've tried to figure out like how to make this successful or accessible to more people.
Okay.
So if you know, one-on-one coaching is not affordable for somebody, we then put the Handel Method on this online coaching program. So you can go there and it's got the method and the assignments that go with it. So the founder of the company is explaining the principle, then it has the assignment, and you move through it on your own in your own time. Well, it's hard because then you're alone doing it in your own little world. People are much better when we're connected, when we're accountable, when we have a group. So we decided to start these 6-week master classes so that people come together. And so we have Inner You, the online coaching. We have it for career and for education and for love and for life. So with the love one, it's all focused. Like there's an assignment in there about your relationship history. So going through your history to find your patterns.
Okay.
And what was your pitfall, so that you can be not so that you can beat yourself up, but like so that you know going forward what you're looking out for.
Right.
Pay attention to it so that you can improve it. So we always want to empower people that like this stuff happened. It's true. This is what you learn from it. This is what you're committed to doing going forward.
Excellent.
As opposed to like, this stuff happened, so I'm never going to trust men again.
Right.
Or so like, you know, whatever we've taken as a meaning for us, we want to be sure, like, is that what you want to be out to prove? So we walk people through the Inner You love for 6 weeks as a group and hold each other and share and keep walking through so that you're held in a pace that keeps you going. Whereas on our own, you know, most of us will fall off.
Right. Exactly. That's beautiful.
All our best intentions.
I love it.
Obviously, a great deal of basically what you do is kind of course based. But if somebody felt that they couldn't share their innermost thoughts with someone, is there like any Handel group books or actually kind of literature that people can access?
Yeah, totally. We have a book. It's called Maybe It's You. And the joke is there's no maybe.
Right.
That like really it's, you know, we are the common denominator in our life.
Right.
Yeah.
And so the whole method is also in the book. So that is like the most affordable way to get the Handel Method is the book. It's on Amazon, super easy reading it through. It's got examples, it's got the method, it's got the assignments. And lots of clients that I've had have read the book, and it has made a difference in their life. For $14, like
Right.
you too
That's
can
awesome.
have total access. Yeah, I know. We want to, because our mission is like world peace.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like not a small mission, but we think, we know that part of that is like reach as many people as we can.
Right. Exactly.
Try to connect as many
totally.
people as we can to their own joy, their own peace. And then like if I'm feeling happy in my own life, I'm way less likely to take anybody else down.
Of course. We all are.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Right?
Yeah,
So
totally.
if our goal is for you to feel joy, that ripples out.
Exactly.
It's like your joy. It's kind of amazing to me. Like I just helped one client with her own, she had this super negative perspective about her mother-in-law. And I helped her just transform that internally, like change the story. Actually, I'm so thankful she's taking care of my dad. That
Right.
like, wow, I don't have to do that. I'm actually really thankful. So instead of calling her the gold digger, she had all this negative stuff in her mind about her. She only changed her perspective. And on her last visit there last week, it's her stepmom. She apologized to her. She said, I just wanted to apologize to you. I used to really judge you and think negatively about you, but I'm just so glad that you're in my life. And like never in our wildest dreams did we have that the stepmom apologizes to her.
Right.
Like never thought that that's the magic that gets created when you find your own peace.
Right.
When you become more love. When you are love.
Absolutely.
People are that around you.
That's right. And you only attract what you give off.
Exactly.
No, totally.
So Kimberly, here on My Right Stuff, we always like having some fun. Okay. And besides your painting that I know that you do, because I'm looking right at it and it's beautiful. Can you tell us, do you have any hidden talents?
Oh my God, totally.
Good. What do you got?
Totally. Buckle in.
Have I shown you my dance? No,
Let's go. Let's see it.
I also totally believe in fun, and I love to laugh. Like one of my absolute favorite things to do is laugh. And so I feel like one of my hidden talents is my laugh, and because it's like big and it's not small. And it used to be really embarrassing because people would reflect it back to me.
Sure.
And I thought that it was like something wrong, too much.
Right.
Like I needed to damp it down. And now I realize it really is one of my special talents is just totally unabashed laughing.
Sweet.
And being who I am. Yeah. It's like just totally letting my freak flag fly.
Okay.
Like when I let go, I just really let go. And it feels so good. It's so free.
Absolutely. That's a perfect talent to have.
Cathartic.
Right.
That's a very good talent. So, if any of our viewers wanted to find out more about you, where actually would they go to gather information?
That on the website that you reference, the handelgroup.com has all information about interview and there's a current reality quiz there, which I remember Toby saying he took the quiz.
I did.
There's you walk through and you can see like you answer the questions to see where are the places in your life that you might want to put a little more design, a little more attention. So that's a great place with all the resources. You can go to the bios there and see the different coaches and read about them there. I'm also on Instagram, like I mentioned, my addiction. I'm there. People can connect with me there and see me there. It's K Cabot 72. My last name is Cabot. And so that's always a fun place to connect with people and to be able to see me and my life. I'm a total nature addict, and it's another talent of mine.
Oh, cool.
I'm like that whole like wanting to save the earth since 5th grade has not played itself out. I'm so in love with Mother Nature. I am a devotee. It's where I want to spend all my free time is moving and breathing. Totally. So I have lots of pictures of me and my love, Mother Nature.
I love that. That's great. So what's next for you, Kimberly? And what's next for the Handel Group?
Oh my God, what's next for me? I moved to LA. I just moved a month ago from Northern California. I know. It's been amazing. I grew up in LA. I moved up to Northern California because of Mother Nature is so incredible up there in her extreme beauty. I like old growth redwoods on the coast. So I lived there for 28 years and I just moved back a month ago because my parents need help. Like I had mentioned when we were talking before, my dad has dementia, and the impact on my mom was it's taking her down, and it was hard to see that. So as part of my family dream, I moved home to be of service to my family and use all of these skills, all of these tools that I've developed to offer clients, use them in my own life and in my own family. So
Excellent.
I'm doing that. And that's also in service of my love life. That, like I mentioned, I'm dating. So now I'm in LA after being in a town of 20,000 people for the last 28 years. Now I am like in a city with 2 million men to choose from. Yeah, exactly. So I know that like healing in my family right now is in service of my love life.
Okay.
Because I'm living by my highest ideals.
Right.
And then I'll attract somebody in that same space. So that's what's next for me.
I love
and
it.
What's next for the Handel group is like just continuing to reach more people and make a bigger impact, and world peace. That's all.
Love it. It's
world peace. That's all.
It's a great little thing to aspire to, right?
Yeah. I mean, you gotta have a big mission.
That's right. Well,
yeah.
Wow,
Totally.
this has been a very informative and enlightening episode, Kimberly. Thank you. I loved all the information, the advice, the tools you shared to help people realize and reach their dreams. And thank you, Kimberly, for taking the time to be a part of this episode of My Right Stuff.
My pleasure. What fun.
Excellent. I also want to thank my distinguished co-host, Mr. Gareth Dyton, and our whole My Right Stuff crew for making this podcast possible every week. Thank you, Gareth.
You're most welcome, Toby, and it's been an absolute pleasure, Kimberly. And I'd like to say, kind of, no star, my lovelies. You lovely people out there, take care, and we'll catch up with you soon.
Sounds fantastic. Thank you again. Do you suffer from insomnia, depression, or anxiety? Well, my sponsor, TAUMMHOMS, may be able to help you in these areas. TAUMMHOMS, a natural sleep and sound healing portal, helping people globally get to sleep faster and stay asleep longer. You can find this piece of gold at TAUMMHOMS.com. That's www.TAUMMHOMS.com. Well, most of all, a big thank you to all of you who stream, download, watch, and support My Right Stuff. And please keep spreading the word, my friends. I really, really appreciate it. Also, we now have a merch store that you can pick up some snazzy merch for those bodies. Go to myrightstuff.com, click on the store tab, and don't forget to tag us in any photos with our merch so we can include you in an episode. Please remember to subscribe on YouTube so you never miss an episode. I hear it'll also give you 10 years good luck. Well, this has been another exciting episode of My Right Stuff. Be sure to tune in next week and every week for yet another adventurous and informative show. I'm your host, Lord Toby Wright, and remember to listen loud, play hard, and keep reaching for your dreams. Good night.
Thank you for watching My Right Stuff. This episode was brought to you by TAUMMHOMS, a natural sleep and sound healing portal available globally at www.taumms.com. That's www.taummmhoms.com.